The value of our pounds, pennies, dollars, pence really kind of concerns me at the moment. And the relationship between the pound and the dollar has now pushed gold prices in the UK up to all-time highs, over £2,200 an ounce. Where will it end? I don't know. Inflation rearing its ugly head again, although, as if you would believe it, inflation is down a little bit in the UK. It doesn't feel like it. Certainly doesn't feel like it. And national government borrowing is at all-time highs, or at least in the last 30 years, they're at highs, which is very concerning. So what role does gold and silver play? Is it a good time to buy gold at those all-time highs with government debt soaring and forecasted to cost even more? I would argue, yes, it really is a good time. So let's talk about that and more in today's Precious Metal Ramble. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble, where we have a down-to-earth discussion about all things precious and shiny. And today I want to talk a little bit about the relationship of debt to our gold. Not a sort of monetary relationship or ratio specifically, but the fact that in the last couple of weeks, in fact a couple of months quite frankly, we've seen a huge increase in the cost of borrowing for not just the UK, but other countries all around the world. What are called gilt rates or bond rates, government bonds, have gone up quite a lot, which make them fairly attractive to a lot of investors. But that extra cost of borrowing devalues the currencies that we have in our pockets. And if you are in the UK and you have pounds right now, you'll be feeling it, because that relationship with the dollar sitting, I think, about 1.2, down from nearly 1.3 as an exchange rate, is really hurting us. And that's pushed gold prices up to all-time highs here in the UK, 2,200 plus pounds an ounce. Oof, that is high. So I want today to talk a little bit about a kind of thought experiment of where things might go in the future if this continues to happen. Will we see hyperinflation? Will we see a complete devaluation of the pound? No, I think I'm going to sort of start this discussion by saying no. But I do think that the devaluation of our pound, and perhaps the dollar down the line that might rebalance it, is going to happen. It is natural to happen, unfortunately. Inflation currently at 2.5% in the UK is still high. That is not really what we want to see, but it's happening, and that means that the price that we pay for everything, including gold and silver, has gone up, and that's where gold is right now, up high. So a lot to get through and a lot to talk about, and I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the general world right now. It seems to be a little bit on fire, literally and figuratively, and we'll talk maybe about the California wildfires and the impact on stacking and how we should be thinking about our stacks in another video. But oh boy, the world is a mess right now. So I'd love to know what you've got to think. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the little thing up here that I put on YouTube that you can click to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So, crazy old world, eh? Right, let's have a look at shiny things and talk about the future. So, yeah, devaluation of pounds, that's a real thing, and it has been a real thing for the last 100 years. For any currency, for any fiat currency, everyone always says all fiat currencies go to zero. There is definite truth to that, but at the same time, fiat currencies evolve. They move relative to other currencies, they get replaced, they get new values attributed to them. We will always have fiat currencies in one form or another, whether it be a kind of digital currency, which by the way is still a fiat currency. A lot of people say Bitcoin's the future, but actually it's just the same as money in your bank account. It's made up, it doesn't exist really, but people still think it's better than actual currencies. But the one thing that is real and transports through history and time is gold, and that buying power transports through time. And I've got out some of my old US gold just to prove that I still have it. A lot of people were saying in comment sections, you don't have any US gold anymore. No, it was all locked away in a vault. So it is now out for you to enjoy. And we have here a 125-year-old coin in the form of this beautiful Liberty Head dollar. And you can see here when I bought this from Hatton Garden Metals back in 2017 for £945. I would love to let you know the exact value of that today, but they're just under an ounce, so it'd be what, 2,100? It's over doubled since I bought this beautiful coin, which means that the value of our pounds has halved, essentially, since I bought this in 2017. That's a lot. And what's that, 8 years? So 50, or I can't even do the maths. It's gone a lot every year. That's around inflation, of course. That's the devaluation of currency. But just look back to where things were in 1900. $20, that's what this coin is worth. $20. You can see there right at the bottom. And that's not $20 anymore. That's $2,687. I'm looking at the ticker right now. That is a stark difference. And you've only got to kind of ask yourself, where will things be in another 125 years? When you think about how the world's changed between 1900 and today, and how things might change going from today to 2150, oh boy, that is scary. Now, look, none of us are going to be around in 2150, or at least if you are, you're going to be an infant right now and possibly into your hundreds by the time that comes around. No, 125 years, no one will be around. But in 100 years, some of you might be around. And that's pretty immaterial to us in many ways. But a lot of people build this for generational wealth and to protect the money over their particular lifespans. So whilst we can probably say that in 100 years' time, if we get similar kind of ratios of devaluation of currencies, 26.85 right now, if we times that by 13, you get $34,900 an ounce for gold. But that won't be profit. A lot of people might go, I'm going to make generational wealth on my gold now if I buy it all and leave it for 100 years. Unfortunately, that's not quite how it works. But it is good still to have some gold. It's very important to protect your wealth, but also understand that nothing is a surefire win. And yes, you could put your money in gold right now, but realistically, what happens with gold is that over a specific period of time, you retain the buying power. Yes, there are swings up and down in markets. And for example, right now, with the fact that the UK pound is so poor against the dollar right now, we're at an artificial kind of inflated high. So there is profit to be had for some playing of that market. If you buy your gold in pounds and then the pound devalues and the gold price goes up, that's an artificial high for the gold price. Now, what I would think about as a gold stacker, if I didn't have any gold and I was looking to buy today, I'd still think that gold is a good buy for a long-term hedge. But you've got to think about that little ratio between the pounds and the pennies and the pence and the dollars, because if tomorrow, for whatever reason, the pound starts correcting itself and we go back to those ratios, you're going to see a sharp fall in the price of gold. Now, I don't personally feel that that's likely to happen. We are seeing huge problems with UK national debt cost right now. And what I mean by that is the cost of financing the UK debt has gone up massively since the new Labour government came in. Now, that's not specifically the Labour government's fault, and this is not a political channel, and I don't mean to really pass comment on one political party or another. But what I will say is that international government lending and borrowing is getting more expensive every year at the moment. Inflation is playing a role. Interest rates are playing a role by trying to keep inflation in check, which in turn is making people's mortgages cost more, which in turn is hurting the buying power of individuals. It's a cyclical cycle, that's a kind of double entendre. It's a cycle of negative stuff that's continuing to happen. How we break that cycle, it's through growth, it's through building, it's through, if Donald Trump gets what he wants, it's about drill, 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 baby. It's about dig, dig, dig. It's about really getting that money back into the economy. And that could happen. Look, I'm going to say that the world is Donald Trump's oyster when it comes to this, and it could be a very interesting couple of years ahead for different money markets around the world. Where things will go is anybody's guess. Having gold in your pocket, though, is an insurance policy. That is very important to look at. I have stocks and shares. I have a portfolio that I've developed and I've carefully developed to give me some passive income, as well as having some long-term holds, S&P 500 being a timeless classic. And those have taken a bit of a beating. They had the Trump bump, but with the cost of borrowing crisis almost that's happening right now, those bumps have pretty much eroded away. So we'll see how that develops over time. But one thing that's gone up a lot, of course, is gold. So taken some heavy losses on some stocks and shares portfolios, but had some nice gains on the gold. It's one of those things, though, that if the stocks and shares markets start going really parabolic again and going in your favor, that you might see gold and silver going down a little bit more. So it's all cyclical. As I said, a cyclical cycle of real kind of, yeah, crazy world times. What I will say is, though, that I do think the gold and silver have a good place in any portfolio, and they are less risk avert. Or no, you are, yeah, less risk. If you are less risk avert, then go for gold and silver. It's important, though, to remind you that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. All of that, you know it well, and it's a difficult time right now to really get to grips with where things are. What I would say is, if you are buying gold and silver, get it for a nice cheap premium. If you can, that would be always good. Big old gold that we're seeing now. I mean, the premiums on old 33 gold is really interesting right now. You can pick these kind of coins up for pretty much close to spot price, and we've seen in the past they are at a premium. Come on, camera, you can do it. It's a horrible, gloomy day here. I've got all of the internal lighting on. There we go. You can pick up these kind of coins for around spot price right now, and that's kind of combined with the fact that the price of gold is high, so people are not too keen to spend massive amounts of money, and it's always about affordability. Fractional gold at spot price, oh boy, that is a great boon, and let me tell you, there is an interesting development on that coming very soon. That's all I'm going to say. So we will see how the market evolves. I'll do a little follow-up video on this at some point when things have settled down a little bit. But for us in the UK, it kind of sucks. But for the US right now, if you're buying something from the UK, it's great. Spend your money. Go on holiday to the UK, because you're going to get a massive bang for your buck right now, certainly compared with where it used to be. That's it from me. Thank you all for watching. We need something for the Cool Kids Club to quote as a serial number, and I've done this bar so many times. So I'll tell you what, instead what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at this beautiful coin that I haven't shown yet, and you're going to quote to me the fine 900 gramos here, 33.436. If you quote 33.436, then I will know you're in the Super Extra Cool Kids Club. Beautiful 50 soles Peruvian coin. I love these coins from a time and era long gone by now, 1931. Just about when the world was last in a huge turmoil and crisis, and gold was that safe haven asset. I think similar position to the world that we're in now. That's it from me. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.